All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all had a fantastic day today. I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to tonight's product training. I will be your host for tonight's session. My name is Alan Wanjohi, Field Support for Neolife Kenya, and I'm excited to welcome each and every one of you to tonight's session. We are privileged to have our product manager, a registered dietitian all the way from South Africa, who's so really is proud and loves of the product, knowledgeable about the Neo Life products, and there's no person better place to be able to take us through tonight's product training. And as you had seen in the flyer that I had shared earlier, she's going to be giving more information on what makes Vegan D a fantastic product. So without much further ado, I want to welcome Connie. Connie the Gale, if you can hear me, today is your night. Kindly take it away.
Thank you, Alan, for that wonderful introduction. And my name is Connie de Khale, if you're hearing it for the first time. Obviously, I am a dietitian, but super, super passionate about Neolife products, and more specifically excited to chat to all of the distributors who've joined and guests who have joined the call today. But welcome to the presentation on Vegan D. However, to better understand the power of Vegan D, we need to talk about Vegan D, which is often referred to as the sunshine vitamin. And in the next few slides, we will begin to uncover the significance of vitamin D and then delve into the numerous benefits and identify the groups that are most susceptible to deficiency and then Neolife solution. So let's begin. So for everyone joining the call today, I want you guys to understand that vitamin D is really a fat-soluble vitamin, and that's crucial for various physiological functions. And that means that it dissolves in fat, so it means it goes along really well with meals that have fat in them, and can be stored in your body for future use. So once you've consumed this vitamin D, it doesn't really disappear. And this characteristic does really make it different from water-soluble vitamins that your body uses up really quickly and doesn't store. So that's what's quite key about vitamin D. So it does really linger around in the body for some time, and it can be stored at a later stage to be used. And it's involved in so many different processes that keep your body healthy, and it plays a key role in bone health, immune system function, and overall well-being. It also helps your body absorb and use calcium, and that's important. So when you see vitamin D or vegan D, you know that any diet that's high in calcium, you're really realizing that calcium, because it is really a precursor for that. And it's a crucial vitamin to build strong bones, because a lot of people kind of focus on vitamin C. Vitamin C and calcium for bones, but we have this vegan D, or this vitamin D, that we know that without vitamin D, your bones might not be as strong as they should be, which can lead to problems like brittle bones. And it strengthens your body's defenses. So just not your bones, it also works on your immune system, helping it to fight off harmful germs and keeping you from getting sick as often. So people who are looking for this immune booster, they can actually use this vegan D to do that. And when you have enough vitamin D in your body, you tend to feel a lot better in general, and it can boost your mood and your energy levels, and keep your heart and muscles healthy, which is something that we really like. And most people will ask you, where can you get this vitamin D? And there are three main sources, primarily, where we can find this vitamin D. So sunlight, predominantly for us African people, sunlight is a very good place to get vitamin D. So depending on the time of the sun, so you have to do this safely, of course. Go out in the sun when it's not as sharp, so in the middle of the day. So try to get in the morning or late in the afternoon, so you can help your body make its own vitamin D. So by exposing yourself to the sun, you're able to make this vitamin D in your body, and obviously realize its benefit, whether it's for your immune system or whether it's for looking after your bones. You can do that. The other way that you can get vitamin D into your body is through diet. So eating the kind of foods that will make sure that you have all this vitamin D. So you can get this vitamin D in some of your foods, and some foods like fatty fish. Fatty fish is a good expression or an example for things like salmon and mackerel. Eggs are also a good source of vitamin D, and you've got fortified milk. Fortified milk basically explained, it means that it's your milk and your producers or your manufacturers have gone ahead and added this extra vitamin D on top. So they can do that. So you've got this naturally occurring vitamin D inside the milk that you're drinking. And then supplements, of course, because sometimes we can't really access a really fancy milk, or we can't access eggs, or we can't even access the salmon that we always talk about. So salmon is obviously this fish. And sometimes you can access supplements where your body might need that extra help. And in that case, you can take vegan D. So how exactly does vitamin D work? So think of your body as this vitamin factory, and our bodies, we know, are this absolute miracle when it comes to doing what it needs to do. But we also have to have the tools to give our bodies those things to make sure that it can do what it can do. And vitamin D is one of those most important products that our bodies can make. And we know that our skin synthesizes this vitamin D with sunlight. And how it does that is that the sunlight contains special types of these UVB rays. And even if you don't understand that, but just know that exposing yourself to the sunlight, you can get yourself these special UVB rays. And when these rays touch your skin, they can trigger this reaction that turns something into your skin into vitamin D. And that's how it works. So getting some sun time onto your skin will make sure that you can realize this vitamin D. And let's just say that now the sun has touched your skin and has made this vitamin D. This vitamin D travels to your liver once it's hit that sun, which acts like a storage house. Remember, we talked about fat-soluble vitamins at the beginning? So it stores this vitamin D, and in the liver, the vitamin D gets turned into a different molecule, and we call it 25-hydroxy vitamin D. What you just need to understand is that once it gets to the liver and stores there, it gets to change into a different form. And then after the liver, our vitamin D continues its journey to the kidneys. And here, this is the most important part. Here it undergoes another transformation. And the kidneys convert this 25-hydroxy vitamin D into this active form that we know as calcitriol. And calcitriol is the form of vitamin D that goes and does all these important parts in the body. So we've actually found out how it all works. So by exposing yourself to the sun, we know it converts from the kidneys all the way to the, from the liver to the kidneys, and it converts to this calcitriol that we can use. So in summary, your body has this incredible ability to make vitamin D from sunlight. And then it goes through a few changes in the liver and the kidneys, like I mentioned, to become vitamin D, which we now know that it's called calcitriol. And that helps keep you healthy and strong. So vitamin D plays this crucial role in making sure your body can use calcium effectively. And that's really important because a lot of people think that I can just consume high calcium foods or even calcium supplements. But these things have precursors, and precursors mean that it needs something happening before, so you can actually realize this vitamin D. And let's look at how calcium is absorbed. So calcium is obviously present in the food that we eat, like dairy products or leafy greens and nuts, but getting calcium into your body isn't as simple as just eating the foods like I explained. And that's where vitamin D steps in. And the next thing would be where vitamin D is activated. So without vitamin D, your body can't really absorb enough calcium, and that might go to waste. And that makes me think that obviously when you're giving your clients or thinking about somebody who needs calcium, it needs to go along with vitamin D, right? So those things go together. So to get the calcium, you need vitamin D, which leads us to how strong bones are built. And now that you got this calcium from your food or other supplements, and vitamin D has helped to get it inside your body. And vitamin D is not only important for bone health, but also for your immune system. I mean, we know that it does work in terms of our bone structure, What about keeping us safe from illnesses, sorts of adverse reactions that can happen to our bodies when bad things happen? And it acts as this defender. So it protects us, protecting us from infections and possibly even more things that we can't even comprehend even now. And let's see exactly how this works. So you can think of your immune system as this army of guards that guard your body against foreign invaders like germs and viruses, right? And vitamin D acts like the commander. So it will tell them exactly where to go and what to do. So it helps your immune system cells work effectively together. And this is how vitamin D supports your immune system. So when you have enough vitamin D, your immune system becomes stronger, and that's what we want. And this can reduce the risk of getting infections, things like colds and flus, or even if you're thinking about the young, those that are often having lots of different sicknesses happening all the time. It's vitamin D that's responsible for making sure you can take up all that calcium that you get from your food. And additionally, scientists have been discovering that vitamin D might have even more benefits. So we are just scratching the surface. And emerging research shows us and also suggests that having enough vitamin D could be linked to lower risk of chronic diseases like cancer and autoimmune disorders. And we know things like cancer and autoimmune disorders are very difficult to treat, especially when they do happen to individuals. So people are always looking for ways as to how can I help myself, or how can I treat my body so that I'm not taking in as much as artificial or common medicines, and looking for something more natural to help me. So in summary, vitamin D is like the general, like I mentioned. So you've got this army, and vitamin D is commanding this army, and it's that body's army that's ensuring that your immune system is ready to defend against infections and germs and illnesses. And it's not only just a guardian against common illnesses, but might play a role in protecting you from severe health conditions like autoimmune disorders, like I mentioned earlier, as well as cancer. So by maintaining adequate levels of vitamin D, you're giving your body that extra layer of protection and support. Now I want to touch a little bit on vitamin D deficiency, because knowing what the deficiencies are is more about understanding that those that you are engaging with, what they tell you about what they're experiencing, you can obviously be able to advise them on what is the correct product to use. So vitamin D deficiency can be noticeable and have these noticeable effects on our body and our overall health. And understanding the science and the risks involved is really crucial in maintaining just well-being and also being able to help those that we engage with. So let's look at some of the common signs of deficiency. So first we have muscle weakness, right? So this is some type of weakness in the muscle. So when your body lacks vitamin D, it can lead to some muscle weakness. And this means that your muscles might not be as strong as they should be, and you may struggle to do everyday tasks that require physical effort. A good example for this is just climbing upstairs. If you are used to climbing upstairs and suddenly you are feeling this need that you are having some struggling there, it might mean that there might be a vitamin D deficiency. Or somebody who's telling you that they're struggling to do their everyday tasks. Vitamin D or vegan D would be the product that you would recommend to them. Another one is fatigue. And most people don't think of vitamin D when it comes to when they think that they are feeling fatigue. So feeling tired all the time is another common sign of vitamin D deficiency. And it can really just zap your energy or just take your energy, making it difficult to stay active and engaged in your daily activities, especially if you're a working professional or you're raising young kids or have to get around from day to day. So this is something that distributors need to keep this in mind. And what about bone pain? We know bone pain also plays a role there. So vitamin D plays a crucial role in calcium absorption, and as we've been mentioning before. And without enough vitamin D, your bones may become weak and painful. So people that are prone to osteoporosis or fractures can extremely benefit from vitamin D. And this can obviously result in bone pain if you don't have enough vitamin D, especially in your back or in your legs. So these are the symptoms that people are expressing. This is the product that you're going to obviously recommend for them. But let's turn our attention to what are the risk factors of having vitamin D deficiency. So a risk factor would obviously come into play when people know that they don't have enough sunlight time, so they spend a lot of time indoors. So your skin makes this vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, as we know. And if you live in a place with limited sunlight or don't spend enough time outdoors, so maybe you work from home and you're not getting outside enough, you are definitely at risk of a vitamin D deficiency. And also dietary choices, and that's an obvious one. So if your diet lacks these vitamin D rich foods like fatty fish, like I mentioned earlier, so fatty fish is things like salmon, mackerel, those are the common ones that we come up with, but I'm pretty sure there are many others. Fortified dairy products, so dairy products that have vitamin D sort of added onto it, on top of the existing vitamin D, and eggs. You might not be getting enough from those essential foods that you eat on a day-to-day basis. And let's not forget certain medical conditions. So if you're sick with something, so some medical conditions, and a good example here is Crohn's disease and celiac disease and obesity. So if you know somebody's mentioning that I have Crohn's disease or celiac disease or even obesity, these can really interfere with your body's ability to absorb vitamin D properly. And additionally, older adults. So if you're dealing with people that are of advanced age, so over 50 maybe, their body's ability to absorb vitamin D may be lessened. And that is where you can plug into that. And recognizing these signs and risks can help you take better steps into making sure that you can prevent these deficiencies, right? And understanding the recommended dietary allowances for vitamin D can also help you position yourself really well. And when supplements might be necessary for a crucial maintaining of your health. And the amount of vitamin D your body needs can vary depending on your age, so how old you are, and your gender. So for men and women, this does change. So gender can also play this role, with some guidelines really suggesting a different recommended dietary allowances for men and women of the same age group. So children, adults, and seniors have different requirements. For example, we know that the current RDA for vitamin D for adults, for example, can range between 600 and 800 international units. And we use international units because that's the measure that we use for these particular products. And this is how much you should be consuming on a day-to-day basis. But it may be higher if you're an older adult, obviously, because we know that when you're older, you may not be synthesizing vitamin D as best as you should be. And of course, you want to be supporting bone health, especially if you're an older person, because your bones are most at risk. And supplements can be necessary, absolutely necessary, for individuals who are obviously at risk or those who are under medical supervision. That way they can get exactly what they need on a day-to-day basis without worrying about trying to get it in the food or trying to get it out in the sunlight. And while sunlight and dietary sources are essential for obtaining vitamin D, some individuals still struggle to get enough. And this is especially true for those at risk of deficiencies. Like I mentioned, those that don't get enough sunlight, maybe based in places where they can't get outside enough, and dietary choices. And that would be the most obvious one, because even if we know what foods have vitamin D, we might not be able to access them as we would like. And in such cases, we have this vegan D product that can be an effective way to ensure that you meet your vitamin D needs. And by tailoring vitamin D into our recommendations, thinking about someone's age and thinking about someone's gender and their individual circumstances, you can really optimize your their vitamin D levels, even your own, and to support your overall health. So why is Neolab's Vegan D important for you? Besides building your business, which is really, really important, we have indoor living and sunscreen use. We know that a lot of people are spending more time indoors, and a lot of people care about their skin, so they use a lot more sunscreen, especially for African people, where we have melanin and we put sunscreen. It may falter, or it may decrease the way we synthesize vitamin D on a day-to-day basis. So our modern indoor lifestyles and the use of sunscreens can make our vitamin D levels drop. And many people of all ages worldwide have this low vitamin D that we know about. So that is the reason why vegan D becomes so important. Another reason is limited dietary sources. I've already mentioned this, and we know now, and studies have shown us, that we only get about 10 to 20% of our vitamin D from our food, because it's not found in many foods. And for the fact that the food doesn't have it already, we're already on a back foot. So thinking about that and understanding that we don't find it in many foods, and many foods that people really eat on a day-to-day basis, that leaves this gap of risk. And most importantly, the types of vitamin D. So vegan D, what makes it special, has both types of vitamin Ds, so D2 and D3. And we know that those are both really effective, and they help things like your immune system, like I mentioned earlier, so protecting you from foreign invaders, from germs, from viruses, colds, flus, that sort of thing. Blood calcium levels. So for us to establish how well you're doing with your calcium levels, we will check your blood levels, and we'll be able to see there that you're not actually getting enough calcium as you're supposed to. Strong bones and teeth. So if you're finding people that are often getting bone issues or bone pain, fractures, osteoporosis, we already know that there is a possible vitamin D deficiency looming. Muscle function. So people who have weakness in their muscles, not being able to move around and do the tasks that they're normally used to, we can obviously pin them down to a possible vitamin D deficiency. And the last one is cell division. Cell division really talks about your cells in your body dividing, and your cells will continuously divide when they are doing tasks in your body, when they're modulating things, and we want our cells to divide in a way that takes care of us. So if we know that there's this deficiency, we are playing with the very fundamentals, with the things that take care of our bodies, right? So Neolife's Vegan D can help you maintain your vitamin D levels, especially if your lifestyle limits you to exposure to sunlight, or your diet doesn't provide it enough of these essential vitamins. So vegan D is obviously the smart choice when it comes to choosing a vitamin D supplement, and it has this unique blend, and that's what makes our product really stand out. And vegan D is a special blend of natural and whole food vitamin D sources, and it's made in a way to ensure it's powerful and it's easy to use for our bodies and our bodies to assimilate. And there are these two types of vitamin Ds that are inside our vegan D, and it contains two types of vitamin D, so D2, like I mentioned, and D3. They have names: cholecalciferol and ergocalciferol. Those are the different vitamin Ds that our bodies can obviously realize and synthesize. And we use these natural ingredients, which is a really big thing, where people are looking for the kind of nutrition that is wholesome and that is also based in nature. So vegan D has this vitamin D3 from lichen, and lichen is actually reindeer lichen, and D2, which is from yeast and high quality mushrooms. And that's where we get all these vitamins to put them inside our vegan D. Another thing that makes our vegan D really, really special, besides the two types of vitamin D that we have in there and the natural ingredients, is sustainability. The ingredients are sourced sustainably, and they have been traditionally eaten in Arctic countries. So we went to places where we know that we can access these really quality ingredients and make sure that we can obviously continuously accessing them. And it's in these Arctic countries that we know that they're consuming reindeer lichen, as well as these mushrooms, that we get this vitamin D. Whole food nutrients. And that's a big part of what we do here at Neolife, where we use whole food as part of the nutrients in our supplements that we use. So these mushrooms, they provide all these good things for your health, like beta glucans. And if you have time, go take a chance and go read up about beta glucans. Really, really, really good for the body. And the other thing is that our vegan D is 100% vegan. So it's entirely vegan friendly for those that have dietary specifications, that want to follow a specific diet. It is vegan. So with vegan D, you get this potent, vegan friendly source of vitamin D, carefully crafted from natural and sustainable ingredients. That's quite amazing. So these are my closing remarks before I end my talk. Without sufficient vitamin D, your bones may become brittle and prone to conditions like osteoporosis or fractures if you are not taking care of yourself. It also helps immune cells recognize and fight off harmful invaders like viruses and bacteria, which is a very good thing. One needs to know, what can I take to boost my immunity if I know that I'm going to a place where I know that I could be sick, or just to take care of myself. And emerging research has been suggesting that it may also play a role in reducing the risk of chronic diseases like cancer and immune disorders, which I mentioned earlier, which is pretty awesome. If you think about, I can drink something now, or I can implement all these things now to make sure that I can fight off all these diseases. So your vitamin D requirements can vary, obviously, based on your age, like I mentioned. So from the younger groups of people all the way to the older groups of people, the vitamin D requirements do change based on that. Your skin tone. So African people would need more vitamin D compared to Caucasian people, because we have melanin, and melanin is the kind of thing that protects us from the sun. So if it protects us from the sun, it means that in terms of synthesizing vitamin D, we may be falling short of that. And other health conditions like cancer, like I mentioned earlier. So it's making that vitamin D part of our day-to-day health system to look after ourselves. So in conclusion, vitamin D is obviously multifaceted, because it's not just looking at health or health of your bones, it looks at the health of your immune system, because it influences bone health, immune function, and overall well-being. And maintaining these optimal levels, it requires a thoughtful approach to sunlight exposure, because I know a lot of people aren't really happy to go out in the sun. Diet. So thinking about the foods that you eat on a day-to-day basis, and then supplementation, which would be the best solution when you think about what are my challenges when it comes to being able to access these other things, and all the while regularly monitoring your status to support your unique and health needs. I hope today you got a chance to learn more about vegan D and understanding where it plugs into the whole space. And I'd love to leave it there. Thank you very much. Ellen, over to you.
Wow, Connie. Thank you so much for that really in-depth and extensive analysis of vegan D. Really, we've been sitting on a gem. I can tell you that
Yes,
for sure,
we have
for
been.
sure. Yes, you are clear, you are audible, and the use of infographics made it easy to understand and to follow the whole process. You mentioned something as a benefit, the overall well-being. Of
Yes.
late, I've been feeling my moods have improved thanks to,
Oh,
you
what are
can
you
see
doing?
what
A
I have,
vegan D?
the vegan D, yes. So I believe that all the distributors on the call, all the users that are on the call are better placed now to be able to sell and to
100%.
market the benefits, the deficiencies that I've just highlighted that come with not using vegan D or vitamin D
Right.
for that matter. And we're grateful. I think this is the way to go in terms of just getting a product to narrow in and get more out of it. Really thank you for making time. I can
100%.
see that you're in the office, so that means you stayed behind to make sure that you pass this across. We don't take it for granted. Thank you so much for making time. We hope to hear from you very soon again with the next
Always
product.
my pleasure.
The second
Yes,
product we don't know yet. You'll give it.
and I'm
Give it
looking
to
forward to visiting you guys in the coming years. So I'm really excited about that.
most welcome here in East Africa. We love visitors, so we'll take good care of you.
Right.
Perfect. So I also want to thank each and every one of you who made time to come into this call. It's always a privilege to be able to just interact and get to learn more each and every day. So thank you. And I want to wish each and every one of you a pleasant night and a beautiful day tomorrow. Asanteni sana, and God bless you all. Thank you, Connie. And we're looking forward.
Everybody.
We're looking forward to the
Bye.
recording, and I'll be reaching out for the PowerPoint presentations. They were top. Asanteni sana, and God bless you all.
Bye, Ellen. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye, Connie.